Okay, we're welcoming you back to the second edition of the afternoon's program. This isn't going to be as long as you might think, because these are just going to be quick shots, and we've had lots of people say to us, please don't keep my picture up there that long. Right from the start, we want to say a special thanks to Chuck Kuchar. Chuck has spent probably about 35 to 40 hours putting this particular portion together for us. Judy and Jimmy and myself and a few of us have gotten together, and we've spent more time laughing than we have really preparing, looking at pictures in the yearbook. So this is going to be a series of looking through some oldies but goodies. So if you see your picture and you want us to stop and put it on hold, that's not a problem. But Charlie Shea needs to certainly have our thanks for so much information that he's been able to share with us and continues to share with us. And one of the things that I had not seen before, nor had Judy, was the dedication ceremony that was conducted for the new school. And I have, and I'll put it back out on the tables, but it's the program of the dedication that was held Friday evening, October 16, 1931. And the other little piece of the information that he gave to us was a write-up that was in the newspaper, and I will also put that back out on the table. But I've always maintained the years that I served on the school board that we may have been a very small and a very rural school district, but we were the best small rural school district in the state of New York. We continue to be so. I spent a lot of time in Albany and traveling across the state, making sure that they knew who I was and where I was from and what we stood for. And the interesting thing is that after I was reading some of this article that Charlie shared with us, I just wanted to read a little bit about what was in this article, because it talks about how great we were back then. The building that's on Main Street, the building that was shown and was constructed when the homes were taken down and centralization began, replaces the old Fabius School located across the road from the present structure. The new site comprises about 10 acres, providing a splendid athletic field, well-conditioned and excellently drained. The school serves 12 districts in the Union, extending about 8 miles in all directions from Fabius High School pupils of Delphi, and they received their education here. And since the centralization 2 years ago, the high school enrollment had nearly tripled, from 35 to 100. There are now 335 pupils registered in all departments. And that was one of the ratings that was given scholastically and athletically in the state of New York. And on the 10-acre plot provided for the new school, there's ample facilities for indoor, outdoor games, and it's expected that Fabius School will advance rapidly in athletic competitions. And we certainly did. They have their own playground. We have a new one, and we've advanced there. The major athletic field is rated as one in the finest of this whole section. The Fabius Central School students held honors and scholarships, listing a rating of 95.2%. And so back in 1931, we were a pretty awesome school system, as well as we are today. You ought to be proud of your facilities. You ought to be proud of where you're sitting today, because there's a lot of work that's gone into making that happen. So we'll see to it that these are set back out on the table, but a lot has happened to us over the years, and we're going to make sure that all of you sit right here when we're finished, because Robert Ossett is going to be the highlight of today's presentation. Be careful what you say, Mr. Ossett. Don't forget, for all of you sitting here, he can look up every bloody one of you. We can attest to it. We've been to his garage, we've been to his home, we've been to his cellar, we've been to his basement. Yes, he's got cars, but he's got every test paper, every yearbook. He has got a mind that can hold a steel trap, and he can tell you everything about every one of you sitting in this auditorium. Thanks, Bob, for your contribution. and we're going to dedicate as much as we can of this silly presentation to you. Get ready. Go ahead, James. In 1835, the Pompey Academy was built. And 100 years ago, in 1868, it looked like this, the Fabius Central School. You've just seen pictures of that in our previous presentation. Here's the Delphi Falls School, and later they joined the district. And Judy, tell me, how many students were in that school system before you came to Fabius?
There were 2 rooms, first through 6.
2 rooms, first through 6. And they were one of the holdouts. So they finally came to Fabius and joined in up here on top of the hill. Okay, Jim. You want to add anything to that, Jim?
Yeah.
He took her out of Delphi Falls.
I'll say.
All the way to Gooseville.
This house is now owned by Gene Pitts, and it's a 2-family apartment house now in Delphi. Can you read any of that, Linda?
This is our closing exercises of the Fabius Village School. And we have this on display as well. And teachers are listed here as well. So please take a look at that when you go out. Here's our present school as it looks today, with some of the new additions of our flower gardens and a new sign out front, and still pretty strong and going. And then after that, of course, additions were added on to the back. Construction of this was held in 1931. This is the architect's drawing of the school. And this was pretty much what was proposed throughout the state of New York for many school systems. And if you get a chance to travel around the state and want to take a look at some of the front of the buildings, you'll see some have pillars, but most of them have this kind of a facial front. And this was pretty exciting back then, and not to go without some voices heard throughout those construction period times. And again, what a school cost in 1930. Well, I can tell you, I know exactly what it cost in 2002, and it's not a pretty picture as opposed to 1930, but back then it was amazing what the prices were and what the people thought back then as well. And again, the decision to build, and the vote 191 yes, 25 no. And the district treasurer was J.J. Gosner. Carol, do you know who that might be? Now here's an awesome bunch of basketball players. This is one of the first yearbooks. This is the first yearbook. And pretty lanky looking bunch of Yahoo guys. Some of them we know quite well, and we've had a few laughs over them. And if anyone wants us to say anything else about them, why just yell out and we'll just tell you who some of them are. Sonny Goodrich looks a little funny there, but is he here today? He was here yesterday. Sonny's down here in the bottom. Okay, here's FFA boys. Boy, Bob Ossett, you had a bunch of lanky, tall, leftover-looking farm boys right there, I'll tell you. Yeah. Woo! Jimmy Conway was a cheerleader? Okay, we've asked him to do a little cheer for you. Go, Jimmy.
They got Jim Rowe on the right, but I'm the second one from the right. That's Jerry Bishop on the right. And sitting on my right is Ed Butler, and the other is Ron Manstone. And I believe he's in the 7th grade.
What was it like being with the girls, Jimmy?
Fun.
Cheerleading, I mean.
Fun.
One of the cheerleaders
How long were you a cheerleader?
Oh, they threw us out after 1 year.
Now, here's some nice looking little chicks here. They even let them wear shorter skirts. This was 1946. Go ahead, Jimmy.
See Genevieve in there, Sonny?
Here's our baseball team in 1947. We just tried to take some shots of all of some of the interesting little pieces of the yearbook. So we're just going to kind of clip through these quickly. If you want us to stop, please yell out. Press Club, they no longer have that. They have something different that entices kids into press. Here's Spike Wheeler, who remembers him? Spike Wheeler, and the Fabius Band. He once told Jimmy, don't even join, Jimmy, because it's not gonna, he wanted to play the cymbals. Well, I joined and tried to play French horn. He said I'd be better off carrying the flag. So Jimmy and I just said the heck with band.
That's all I said.
Now take a look at Bob Ossett and look at his hair. Pretty darn good looking guy, don't you think? A lot's happened to him in the years, I'll tell you. No wonder, he's earned every bit of it. That white hair he's got, I mean. Okay. Now here's our football team. We found out this morning, Judy helped me out, 1948 the football team, stopped in 1949, began again in 1951 to 1954. And then there was an injury. As a matter of fact, we're a little confused about whether it was an injury or if there was really a death that happened or occurred, and that's why we discontinued football altogether, and it was never picked up here again at Fabius. Does anyone?
What year?
In 1953, was it?
Linda, I think Dan Driscoll can attest to that.
Dan, can you, fill us in, Dan. What happened?
Oh, I don't know about that, but I was the last coach of football in 1956. I brought it back 1 year, 8-day of football, for 1 year in 1956. That was the last.
And that was in 1956. That was it.
Did you have a winning year?
I'll take the Fifth Amendment.
Why did you stop?
What?
Why did you stop?
Injury.
Why'd you stop, Dan? An injury?
Cause. Started playing soccer. Leftovers, whatever you.
All right, that helps us because we couldn't even find it, and that makes it clear. So Judy, let's note that it was 56 because we didn't see any pictures in 55 or 56. And we did know that there was an injury, and they said, that's it. We can't afford to have this happen. So, but you were a nice, good-looking coach back there, Dan. I don't know what happened since, but... Oh, yeah, we better be there. And take a look at these JV basketball players. Check out the legs on them. Coach Nettleton. Glee Club. Here's the 1947 commencement exercise class roll. Okay. Got a couple of those. We threw a couple of those in just so that you could see what they looked like. Here's the faculty from 1950. Boy, they made them dress up and they made them look good. And you better respect them. Now this is supposedly the baseball team, but the basketball was above what we thought was supposed to be baseball, so we're a little confused. Are you, Jim?
Very.
Emily Raleigh Esty wrote a poem to the class of 1931, and that's on display out front with the class pictures all around. We just threw that in. Now, there is one good-looking young man right there. His name is Charles Shea, Board of Education. Wouldn't that scare you to think that he was on that?
As a matter of fact, I wasn't.
You were just the clerk, right, Charlie? Where is he?
He's back there.
Were you were the clerk? How did you get in with the rest of the boys? Just because you look good?
No, but I knew where all the free lunches.
Perfect. Proud of you. Okay. Here's some more ag boys. Back then we had agriculture that surrounded the area. There were many farms, many students who worked on farms, and that's why Bob had such large classes. There isn't even an FFA today.
You had the cream of the crop.
Well, now that's questionable. Let's get the home ec girls in there first. Lucille Davenport. And if any of you had a chance to look outside on the table, you will know that we are deeply indebted to her family for the information that they have provided us and the yearbooks and the papers that they, as a family, have given to us. And she served the school well, and you certainly respected her. And she was, I'm not sure if anyone knows, Charlie, do you know how many years she was here? We're not just
35.
real. 35? 35 years. Why didn't I ask Bob Asa? Okay, here's another baseball crew.
We won the county championship that year. We didn't make the state, but we won the county championship.
Who cares?
You'll care.
Here's the football team. Coach Grant. Yearbook Club. There's some teachers in 1953.
Makes you wonder what we come to school for to see that bunch.
Now, if you thought that they could tumble, I'd like to rumble with a couple of them now. Just take a look at that bunch. Mike Palladino smack in the middle. Look at Bruce Way over there.
There's a guy in the audience, Earl Ball, Skyler Smith, Debbie Ed Campbell, Jerry Bishop.
I think they've all been arrested, haven't they, Jim? Should have been.
Well, none of them are bullied.
Oh, there you go. She was probably the sexiest little cheerleader that Fabius ever knew.
I don't know, but she's my bride.
We're indebted to Judy. She's done such an immense part of this program and so much work. We're eternally grateful. We've got the cafeteria staff. We've got a lot more of them today. There's another football team at 54. Girl Scouts. There's our custodians. They even dressed up. Take a look at that. Like that tie that Frank's got on.
Yes.
Dave's is a little shorter, but he was a busy man. Dan Driscoll, just what were you thinking? Holy Moses, Marty Bays, and that Dale. Oh, Dale. I didn't know you played basketball, Dale. I didn't think you could even dribble down the court.
I have trouble walking.
You have trouble walking around. Right? Just look at that bunch. Walter Knapp, 40 years. That is pretty amazing. I'm not sure you could do that today. 40 years is a long time for school board. There's Delphi Falls. Those are the two teachers. Way to go. Now we're climbing the hill, 57. They were the champions, CD division. Coach Norris, he looks like that today too. There's Spike again. This is the elementary back thing. Look at Dan. He loved to hold that basketball. He didn't know what to do with it, but he held on to it all the time. Oh, they won 11 and lost 1. I didn't see that part, Jimmy. Did you?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
You're trying to get a firm grip on so good, you practice with the basketball.
Yes, sir. You finally got her. Now it's time to grow. Okay, now here's a question that I have because we didn't know the answer to it. Somewhere along the line, when this growth spurt came on, there were classes that were put in churches. And I know for sure in the Methodist church, there were either the first and second year. And we're not sure of the details. We can't remember how long they were there, or Earl, do you remember? All right, in 1951, they went to the church, the first and second grades, and they were there for 3 years. All right, were portables put up at that time, or was it just, no? Okay. Okay, so it was just overcrowded. Okay, see, and that's, all right. Okay, see, that helps us because we couldn't remember how long they were. Okay, see, all right, because we're trying to document that as well. So, boy, we'll take that information and document it. So I appreciate that. So here's our new construction and our add-ons. Some longtime faculty members. Just take a look at those chicks there. Whew. Absolutely. She was the captain of that team. Go ahead, girls. Do your cheers.
That's scary.
That was very scary. That's even scarier. Okay, let's just keep moving on, Jimmy.
I think that she was the farmer's daughter, but she couldn't keep her calves together.
All right, now, I think, I'm going to take the mic away from you now. I knew something was going to happen that I wouldn't like. And here we are with the Pompey Delphi schools combined. Then we got into volleyball. It was small back then, but it's big now. Future nurses. And some of them actually became nurses. Future homemakers, right there. See that? When Bob Ossen didn't take all the boys, we were able to get some of the girls to pretend they were homemakers. Bowling. We had a bowling team back then. Here's our cafeteria crew. That's grown since the last picture that we saw. Nice picture of Don Slough. Don was in Pompey for years. Ski club. Varsity club. This was a combination of tennis, basketball, volleyball, soccer, a little bit of everything. So now in '68, they've certainly added on a lot more sports. Cafeteria staff, custodians. They had an AV club, a culinary club, a library club. And here is our alma mater. Kind of interesting that we've had some comments about, we've been trying to do research about the alma mater, and we have had a couple of folks share with us that the tune is pretty much the same all over at least the tri-counties or over the state in a lot of ways. You think about Cornell's alma mater, you think about the schools close by you, and when you sing them and when you hear them, the tune is the same, the words are different. So we were thinking that someone from Fabius, or Fabius Pompey, or whatever it happened to be, came up with this tune, but evidently that's not true. So it's just a tune that everyone picked up and put their own words to. So if anyone has any information on that, we are still in a searching mode for the bottom line answer. But round about us are the hilltops, and we're in them, and we like them. And Jimmy's going to sing that for you now. Aren't you, Jimmy? Oh, just kidding. 71. Varsity wrestling. Dick McGee. Does everyone have long hair? Yeah, back then they did. Now we're looking at some intermediate teachers. Irene Cooch. Look at Dick McGee on your left. How scary is that? Now, we'd like to focus your attention right here at this photo, so hold it, Jimmy, for a minute. No, we'll point it out. If you can point to Kate Cameron, that'd be helpful. Oh, nice shot of Kate Cameron. How about Paul Peters and Ron Saunders? Nice. All right, how about this girl on the left with a short skirt here? Way over to the left. Way over. Right over there. No, in the other picture. Yeah, right here. That's the one. I think she's with us today. That's Sue San Germano. Back then, she was little Susie Temple. Well, I'll tell you, the guys thought she was Susie Temple. 1973. You wouldn't think we'd allow such a thing to happen in the school system, would you? Wear a short shirt. She's come a long ways. Woo! Look at them. There's Norma Crystal, right there in the middle. Isn't that a great shot of her? Awesome, awesome. Cheerleaders doing more than they were ever allowed to do in the early years. That's 73. Faculty and staff, Mina Penoya right there, and Mrs. Hauk, Mr. Rufo. Yeah, that's Frank Rufo's head down here on the left. Here's the BOCES students, and that became quite an added-on piece when BOCES became a part of the school system for the state of New York. And then the busing was another problem. I remember that well. This was started in '89. Karate club. We've tried to include as many clubs, and they come and they go, but this one I don't think lasted too long. Sign language club. Look at little Miss Danielle right here. There was a great little crew. That didn't last too long, I don't think either. But it was a wonderful thing. Here's a bunch of baby pictures from the class of '90. Girls softball. Peer helping, that became in the early 1990s was started from To the Spade, peer helping. Oh boy, Now there, you wonder what happened to the schools? Woo, that's scary. Keep moving. Here's 1999, and lots of things have changed. And we progressed. Here's our millennium. We're coming down to the end.
And we also had a baseball team that's got 2 state champions, one this year and the other in '99. And I think that's quite a tribute.
Okay, if anyone has anything they want to add to, we'll continue to add to the memorabilia.
We'll
Judy?
be out in the hall.
We'd like to thank Chuck Butcher for putting all that stuff together.
Yeah, we again say thanks to Chuck because he's the one who spent the hours putting this together, and we are indebted to him. And he was sorry that he couldn't be here this weekend, but we'll be adding to this all the time and putting bigger and better pictures to it. So thanks for your attention, and enjoy Bob Ossen, who's right arm.